Well, I have lows. I'm telling you, what happened yesterday might be worse than any time that both of my teams lose, college and NFL. No, seriously, we didn't score a single point. Not even a safety, not even a field goal, not even a 1-point safety. I'm going to tell you right now, Zach Robinson's offense is complete ass. This better get fixed, otherwise we're going to have a long stretch of a couple of weeks because we're playing the Commanders, then the Niners, then the Bills. Actually, no, it's Bills, then Niners. Tough stretch coming up, but to be 1-2? This team's going 7-10 again, aren't they? Anyways, let's just go to college. Let's go to the video just real quickly. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm the Grizz, and ladies and gentlemen, we got college football Week 4 reactions, and also the Week 5 AP poll reaction, along with the predictions for Week 5. Had some topsy-turvy games, a little bit of weird ones too. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Season 2 playlist in the description so you can feel every single episode so you're all caught up, and you also have it for future episodes whenever they come out. Also, do not forget to hit the red subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Without further delay, let's go react to some Week 4 games. So up first, we have the big noon kickoff game in Salt Lake City where Texas Tech obliterated Utah in the fourth quarter. God damn, Utah was fraud. Like, it was so, quiet in the first three quarters. Like, it was 10-3, and then all of a sudden, Texas Tech beat the bricks of Utah in the fourth quarter. Safe to know that both of these defenses are actually pretty solid. Well, Utah's was until the fourth quarter. And Texas Tech had a backup QB that actually outperformed the starter. Baron Morton went down with injury, but even then, he was really struggling against the Utah defense. And turns out, Tech's quarterback, as the backup, actually pulled off a blowout win. And now Texas Tech is 4-0 for the first time, I believe, since 2013. Oh, dear God. Eventually, Texas Tech has to lose, right? Next up, we had the Jackson Arnold return to Norman as Auburn took on Oklahoma, and the Sooners got the win. It was actually a very fun game. It was actually very close. You know, in the fourth quarter, it was 13-10. Auburn kind of had the lead, and then Sooners scored a late touchdown to go ahead. And then Oklahoma got a safety. Poor Jackson Arnold got sacked a total of, get this, 10 times. You thought the Bengals O-line was ass. This one was even worse. And Oklahoma's right back to 4-0 now. Second time in 3 years, I believe. At the end of the day, it's still Coach Venables, so he's going to choke eventually. Is he though? Good game from John Mateer, who I think is going to be the Heisman frontrunner, and good game for the defense as well. Next up, we got Michigan edging out Nebraska and Lincoln 30-27. Ooh, dear. Justice Haynes torched the Cornhuskers all game long, and Dylan Raiola tried everything he could to win Nebraska that game, but it just wasn't meant to be. And now that is another close game Nebraska has lost. Dang, it seems like they're cursed to lose one-score games apparently. Next up, we had Tulane taking on Ole Miss in Oxford, and Ole Miss beat the absolute bricks off Tulane. Both of these teams were undefeated coming in. It just shows that Jake Ratzlaff going against the SEC team for the first time, yeah, he was cooked from the start. And also of note, Chambliss is a beast. Or at least he looks like one right now. He absolutely torched Green Wave defense. Excited to see what he can do against LSU next week. Next up, we had South Carolina taking on 23rd ranked Missouri in Columbia, Missouri, with Missouri winning 29-20. And now Missouri's 4-0. Bo Pribula is turning into a very nice quarterback. North-South's tried everything he could, but yeah, it was just too late. Missouri pulled away in the fourth quarter, and South Carolina just could not catch up afterward. 0 points in the fourth quarter is very concerning. Could Missouri qualify for the playoff this year? Who knows? Then, of course, we had college game day with Miami, number 4 in the country, blowing out Florida 26-7. And Billy Napier's now 1-3. Not the best game from Carson Bent, to be honest with you. Defense did its job, though. This was the Mark Fletcher show, and yeah, he completely decimated the Gators' defense. Hell of a win for Miami over their rival. And then we have this game. This was in Bloomington. Illinois got absolutely decimated by Indiana, 63-10. Illinois put one touchdown, and that's it. because Coach Singh's Fernando Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers completely shadow realmed this Fighting Illini. 5 touchdowns from Mendoza, 2 touchdowns for Mark, 2 receiving touchdowns for Elijah Surratt. I mean, they completely dominated this game from start to finish, especially in the last 3 quarters. 49-3 in those quarters except the first one? I feel so bad for Bradford Lemon, man. He did not have to get done like that. And the final game regarding ranked teams is USC beating Michigan State 45-31. I didn't even watch this game, to be honest with you. But from the looks of it, Aiden Childs and Jordan Maeva threw 3 touchdowns, so they actually had some pretty good games. Nice to know USC's defense is still ass. Could Jordan Maeva be the next Heisman Trophy product for Lincoln Riley? Yeah, we'll see. Moving on to non-ranked teams, we got Memphis coming back against Arkansas and winning 32-31. Arkansas held a 28-10 lead in the second quarter, and then they completely choked. This was the biggest deficit that Memphis came back from in the FBS so far this season. Sam Pittman, another heartbreaker. Yikes. What the fuck happened to Clemson? 34-21, Syracuse defeated the Tigers in Death Valley. What the fuck, Clemson? You're 1-3, your worst start since 2004? Kate Klubner was a bad, 3 touchdowns, but Stephen Jelly, 2 touchdowns, 240 yards, and the Syracuse defense was just, wow, only allowing 1 touchdown per quarter except the third, but man, Syracuse was playing well on defense. Yikes. Yeah, this is why the good coaches from the 2010s are pretty much going to be gone by 2027, 28. Up next, we have Maryland beating Wisconsin 27-10. I actually predicted Maryland to win this game, and sure enough, Malik Washington proved me right. Luke Fickell's now 2-2 with both losses being blowouts. He has made Wisconsin's football program even worse than it already is right now. So Brett Bielema was the reason Wisconsin was so relevant in the 2010s. Interesting. Oh, we also saw a little group of 5 action with North Texas winning in overtime to stay unbeaten 45-38. The Maine Green are here. We're seeing some dark horse contenders out of the AAC. Could a 2-bit AAC berth in the playoff be a possibility? Well, as long as, the playoff bid keeps on denying these group of 5 teams, probably not. Then we had the battle for the Island Skillet, TCU knocking off SMU 35-24 to stay unbeaten. And I will say, TCU is the truth. Josh Hoover is that guy. He and Eric McAllister are an absolutely incredible duo. They connected on 250 of those almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yikes. Oh hey, UCF absolutely beat the shit out of Bill Belichick. Nice. 3-0. There was also this game right here, NC State and Duke. It actually was a very good game, and then in the second half, Duke pulled away. CJ Bailey kind of had a game he wanted to forget. I think he threw 3 picks along with 2 touchdowns. Derek Mensah threw 3 touchdowns, and Castle ran for 3 touchdowns. Yikes. So Duke is sort of back. I had to talk about this game. Arizona State and Baylor. Absolute cinema game right here. They were pretty much even throughout the entire game. 3 touchdowns from Sir Robinson, touchdown from Sam Levitt. I mean, it was a back-and-forth game this whole time. And then Arizona State walks it off with a field goal to make a 27-24 victory for the Sun Devils. I had Baylor as my playoff contender, and yeah, they've already got 2 losses. So their situation right now is not good. The final game, I had to react to this one. East Carolina, Greenfield, North Carolina gets smoked by BYU 34-13. It was a much better showing for the Cougars than the Stanford game. We're not going to talk about that game. Bear had his best game up to date against the FBS opponent. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 passing, 1 on the ground, and LJ Martin got in on the fun, but the player of the game goes to Evan Johnson on defense. 2 interceptions, he returned 1 for a touchdown. I mean, the defense absolutely showed out in this game up until the second half, or Well, the fourth quarter, because, come on, the game was over at that point. Other than that last quarter, defense absolutely showed out. Jack Hammer had 2 sacks. I mean, defense was just all over the run game. 6 carries for only 43 yards. Well, he didn't have very many carries because Hauser was throwing the ball. But a nice win for the Cougars to stay unbeaten. And this is actually the first time in school history that they've had 3 straight 3-0 starts. I can't believe we were 3-0 in 2023 when we went 5-7 in our first year in the Big 12. How times have changed since then. Before we get to the AP poll reactions for Week 5, let's discuss some games to predict for this upcoming Week 5. First off, Florida State taking on Virginia on Friday night at 7 p.m. on ESPN in Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm gonna go with Florida State here, but don't be surprised if Virginia makes this a game. I think Virginia's like 3-1 or something like that. Florida State's still unbeaten. This could really be a good game. But I do have Florida State winning. Next up, we got TCU taking on Arizona State. This should be a fun one. It's in Tempe, so it really could go either way, but I am going to go with Arizona State to win this one. TCU has really been good, but I just think Arizona State's going to edge this one out again. Arizona State is favored by 2.5 points, and I think they'll cover this one. And Josh Hofer, he's playing his best ball right now as a quarterback for TCU, and I think he'll do well. But right now, I do have Arizona State winning this one. We got Cincinnati also playing Kansas on TNT on Saturday afternoon. Oh yeah, by the way, that TCU ASU game is on Friday night also. As for Cincinnati and Kansas, this one's going to be easy. Kansas wins. Then we go to our first ranked versus ranked matchup between USC and Illinois. Illinois is coming off a bad loss to Indiana where they allowed 63 points on defense, and USC is coming off a win over Michigan State. I am actually going to take that Illinois is going to cover this one and actually beat the Trojans. I think Illinois is going to come into this game pissed off from that blowout loss, and they are going to make USC pay. Now we're moving on to some big ones. LSU taking on Ole Miss. Oh yeah, by the way, USC Illinois, I believe, is going to be the new kickoff. As for LSU Ole Miss, LSU is off to a fast start. I mean, it was kind of ugly a little bit there, Clemson win isn't as impressive now that they're 1-3. Did struggle against Louisiana Tech. I don't know about this team, man, because Ole Miss is now favored by 2.5. If Chambliss is playing this well right now against a very good Group of 5 team in Tulane, just imagine what he's going to do against LSU. I'm not saying LSU is worse than Tulane, but have you seen their coach? Come on, his name is Brian Kelly. His name is not Ed Orgeron. If it was Ed Orgeron, LSU would be in the playoff. I can guarantee you that. For this game, I think Ole Miss will cover and win. There's always some great exciting games between these two teams, seriously. We just got 2 more games to discuss predictions over, then we're moving on to the AP poll, alright? Then we got to Athens, Sanford Stadium, where Bama takes on Georgia. Georgia coming in unbeaten, Alabama coming in with the 1 loss to Florida State. And my goodness, this is going to be an insane matchup. Ken DeBoer's 1-0 against Georgia, against Kirby Smart, and I think Bama's going to do it again. Yeah, that's right. I know nobody's scared of Bama anymore, but Kirby Smart has not really beaten Bama that often, not even in the regular season. Always alarming that Alabama's always been Kirby's kryptonite unless it's in that one national championship game. That's the only time he's beaten Bama. And yeah, I think Alabama pulls off the upset here. Final game we're discussing, of course, is College Game Day, which is a top 10 showdown between Oregon and Penn State. The teams playing cupcake teams, one of them has got to lose, and I believe the Nittany Lions are going to be the unfortunate victim. Here's the thing, James Franklin never wins big games, unless they're in the playoff apparently. Lost 2 games last year. Once was to Ohio State, the other was in the Big Ten Championship before the playoffs. One of them was in the Big Ten Championship was against Oregon. Yeah, Dan Lanning has James Franklin's number. He's going to show that in that game next week. That's all for the predictions. Let's react to the AP poll. And this is the Week 5 AP poll for this year. Top 5 is Ohio State, Miami, Penn State, LSU, and Georgia. Very surprised move here that Miami's going all the way up to number 2 in front of Penn State and LSU. Not really sure you can do that, but maybe Penn State stays at 3 or 2, Georgia goes to 3, LSU and Miami go to 4 and 5. I don't know. But yeah, Penn State's got a big game against Oregon. Miami, they're really doing their absolute amazing right now with Carson Beck. Georgia's playing Bama, LSU's playing Ole Miss, Ohio State's playing undefeated Washington. What? Miami's gotten over 2 of their biggest rivals. It'll only be a matter of time before Miami and FSU face off. Not a bad top 5, but I would personally put Georgia at 3 and Penn State at 2. Up next, 6 through 10, Oregon, Oklahoma, FSU, A&M, and Texas. Imagine shutting out an opponent and dropping 2 spots. That's actually insane. Oregon's undefeated right now. They played a little cupcakes. They had 1 conference game against Northwestern. Come on, that was the punchy bag of the Big Ten. Oklahoma got a big win over Auburn, and now they're at 7. FSU dominated their opponent again, still coming off that win over Bama. Texas A&M coming off of the win over Notre Dame is in the top 10. Wow. And poor Texas, man, lost to Ohio State and kind of struggled with UTEP and then shut out their opponent, Sam Houston State, but then dropped 2 spots. Not a bad 6 through 10. Honestly, Oregon could be in the top 5 if you wanted to. Maybe even Oklahoma or FSU. Next up, 11 through 15, Indiana, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Iowa State, and Tennessee. Tennessee does not move after their big win over UAB. Even though I would put them at 14, maybe 13 right now, because Ole Miss, well, actually no, not 13 anymore, because Ole Miss absolutely played well against Tulane. Ole Miss got a big game against LSU. Texas Tech is riding high, so is Indiana. I would put Tennessee at 14 because of Iowa State's struggle with Arkansas State, who got smacked by Kennesaw State. But Tennessee, great QB switcheroo with the whole Joey Aguilar situation. Joey has been consistent and good. Decent top 15. Make a couple changes there and there, but not terrible. Now we move on to the bottom 10, 16 through 20. Georgia Tech, Bama, Vanderbilt, Michigan, and Missouri. Tech still unbeaten at 4-0. Bama is playing Georgia upcoming next week. Vanderbilt, they vanquished Georgia State. 70 points dropped on them. Michigan survives Nebraska. I feel like they should not be 19. Instead, they should be like 21 under Missouri and USC. As for Missouri, they beat South Carolina to stay unbeaten. Man, Missouri's actually pretty good. Nice to see Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt, some of the smart schools, getting in this top 20. And Georgia Tech's ahead of Bama. That's interesting. Why not put Bama behind Vanderbilt? Oh wait, all the Bama fans will start crying. I feel like Bama should just be 18 right now instead of 17, behind Vanderbilt, because who won that last game between Vanderbilt and Alabama? Exactly. And finally, we got the bottom 5. We got USC 21, Notre Dame, Illinois, TCU, and BYU. Bottom 2 teams making their first appearance. USC's 4-0. I feel like they should be higher than 21 right now. Like, there's a couple one-loss teams that should not be above USC right now. Notre Dame is 1-2 and still in the AP poll. That's so funny. Illinois dropped 14 spots after that humiliation against Indiana. Should they be out of the AP poll? Maybe it's too soon. TCU and BYU undefeated. TCU had a good win against SMU. They have been actually on their game so far this season. As for BYU, 3-0. Ugly start with Stanford, but then picked it up against East Carolina. Unfortunately, finally allowed a touchdown to them. Only 1 touchdown was allowed, though. Just keep that in mind. TCU's got Arizona State. BYU has Colorado. USC and Illinois are playing each other, and I'm not sure about Notre Dame right now. I feel like they're relevant right now. Replace Notre Dame with Mississippi State. I dare you. And that is all for the AP poll reactions. Good luck to every team for Week 5. And that's going to do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. You enjoyed this episode, make sure you give this a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Helps the channel a lot. This is the Grizz signing off for now, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.